So last week when I was talking about potential DNC chair candidates, I was introduced to someone for the very first time whose name I complete and utterly butchered. Two other candidates with lower national profiles, New Hampshire Democratic Party Chair Raymond Buckley and South Carolina Democratic Party Chair Jaime Harrison, are also running so far. Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South... that's a really unfortunate name. Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana, is also weighing a bid, Political reports. Now, prior to that segment, I had never heard of this guy before, but I should have been paying attention because apparently this guy is a rising star in the Democratic Party, and he actually threatens Keith Ellison's chances if he does in fact get in. Now, he talked to Politico about whether or not he would be running, and this is what he said. I've been talking with a number of fellow local and state leaders from around the country about the future direction of the Democratic Party. I am staying focused on South Bend, Indiana, but I do care deeply about where our country is headed. It's clear the party needs to connect better with communities like my hometown, where working people are looking for economic fairness and for leadership that focuses on our shared values. So in non-political speak, yes, I'm thinking about getting into the race, simply put. So now this guy would be probably the biggest competition to Keith Ellison besides Obama's Labor Secretary Tom Perez, because he's currently the establishment's favorite. But this guy actually might give Keith Ellison a run for his money, so I think we need to pay attention to him because the New York Times even touted him as the country's potential first gay president, and he's also been a longtime admirer of Senator Bernie Sanders and was the 2000 winner of the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage essay contest for a paper that he wrote about Bernie Sanders, and in that essay he condemned politicians that run to the center. And Huffington Post even wrote an article on this titled, Indiana Mayor Considering DNC Run Felt the Burn 16 Years Before It Was Cool. So it's really difficult to find out information about his policy positions, but I mean, if this guy is feeling the burn and he's presumably a progressive, then the question is, well, should we support him? If not, what's the problem? Well, there's one very big problem with Buttigieg.
On the Democratic side, Mayor Pete Buttigieg announced who he'll endorse. He's throwing his support behind Hillary Clinton. He made that announcement with several mayors from across the state. In a statement, he says she puts forward real solutions that will lead to better paying jobs, investments in our small businesses and manufacturers.
Yeah. That right there is all I need to know. If you supported Hillary Clinton during the primary when there was a real progressive option, I want nothing to do with you. I've got no love for you. You can take a hike, because we need a real progressive right now that's willing to actually stand up for progressive values if the party ever wants to win again. So I am not feeling the Buttigieg, and I know that I'm mispronouncing his name. It's actually pronounced Buttigieg, so Buttigieg or whatever. I'm just going to call him Buttigieg because I think it's easier, and I think it has a better ring to it. So I am not feeling the Buttigieg. And while we're talking about potential DNC chair candidates, I want to mention Jaime Harrison. So this is an individual who is also running, and this guy is a lobbyist for John Podesta's lobbying firm. Now, needless to say, he endorsed Hillary Clinton during the primary, and he has his head very far up Hillary Clinton's ass. So this guy is someone who probably doesn't pose a big threat to Keith Ellison, but at the same time, you know, he's going to be an establishment favorite if Tom Perez or Buttigieg falls through. So, look, the main takeaway is that I want you to be wary of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I want you to be wary more specifically of a Clintonista in Bernie Sanders' clothing, because these guys are not Bernie-crats. They are shills for the establishment. And the only reason why people like Buttigieg are being touted as rising stars in the Democratic Party is because they toe the party line. They endorse the establishment's favorite picks. So I'm sorry, but I want nothing to do with that. I want someone who's going to be a real leader who stands up for issues based on the principle. That individual is clearly Keith Ellison, because he went against party orthodoxy and endorsed Bernie Sanders, and not only that, he vocally campaigned for Bernie Sanders. So I'm not in favor of anyone from Hillary Clinton's wing of the party gaining power again. Sorry, but you guys lost. It's our turn now. Step aside.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.